Becoming the most mentally resilient version of yourself isn't about trying harder, it's about following the right system. After creating over 200 videos on Eastern philosophy and studying ancient samurai texts, I discovered something remarkable. The Japanese developed a 4-stage process that transformed ordinary people into warriors capable of facing death without fear. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to develop that same mental strength. I call it Shu-Yoda. Part 1. Shu, rigorous training. Life itself is your dojo. The Japanese understood this through Shuyo, rigorous training that forever changes how you perceive struggle. Shuyo isn't just practice, it's complete immersion in difficulty. Buddhist monks sit for hours under icy waterfalls in winter. Ice covers their skin, their bodies shake, but they remain motionless, finding peace in chaos. Why? An ancient Zen saying explains, "The obstacle is the way, not a barrier on the path. The obstacle is the path." The icy water isn't something to endure, it shapes an unbreakable mind. When you stop running from discomfort, your mind stops seeing difficulties as enemies. They become neutral, just another experience. This is why trained monks can sit in freezing water as calmly as you sit on your couch. Now look at modern life. We've eliminated every discomfort. Too hot? Air conditioning. Bored? Endless entertainment. Hungry? Food delivery in 20 minutes. Every convenience weakens us. Your resistance to hardship shrinks until small challenges seem insurmountable. The samurai knew this danger. Yamamoto Tsunetomo wrote in Hagakure, "The way of the samurai is found in death." He meant the death of the weak part of you, the part that chooses comfort, that gives up when things get hard. Only by facing your limits do you transcend them. Samurai didn't stop when they got tired, they stopped when they were transformed. Miyamoto Musashi won 60 duels, but spent hours practicing calligraphy. Why? Because perfect brushstrokes require the same discipline as perfect sword strikes. One wrong movement ruins everything. By mastering the brush, he mastered the mind. The sword became an extension of that mastery. This is Shu, taking something difficult and using it to forge mental steel. How to create your own Shu? First, identify what you avoid. Difficult conversations, physical discomfort, being alone with your thoughts. What you run from becomes your training ground. Commit to practicing daily for 100 days. Real transformation takes time. Choose something specific. If you avoid conflict, have one difficult conversation daily. If you fear discomfort, take cold showers. If you can't focus, sit in silence for 20 minutes without negotiation. When the alarm sounds, you don't think, you act. This isn't about motivation, it's about becoming someone who automatically does difficult things. Most of you won't try. You'll save this video, promise to start tomorrow, then find an excuse. Shu isn't for everyone, it's for those tired of being weak. But there's a problem. Shu without direction is just suffering. Monks didn't train randomly. They followed a path that gave their training meaning. This is where Buudo enters, the warrior's way that transforms discipline into a life philosophy. Part 2. Buudo, the warrior's way. Buudo means the warrior's way. But forget what you think about martial arts. This isn't about fighting. It's about turning your entire life into discipline. Gichin Funakoshi, founder of modern karate, said clearly, "The ultimate aim of martial arts is not victory, but the perfection of character." Read that again. Not victory, character. The samurai discovered something profound. The principles that make you deadly in combat make you unstoppable in life. That's Buudo. Every moment becomes training. Every interaction tests your discipline. An annoying colleague? Training. The temptation to quit? Training. Life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes your practice. The samurai lived this way. They didn't just train in the dojo, then become ordinary people outside it. They turned daily tasks into rituals of discipline. Waking up, ritual. Breakfast, ritual. Even entering a room followed principles. Not because they were obsessed with rules, but because they understood how you do one thing is how you do everything. This is why they could face death without fear. They'd already practiced discipline in 10,000 small moments. Death was just another test. Yamamoto Tsunetomo expressed this perfectly. Great things should be handled lightly, small things seriously. It seems backwards, but he reveals the secret of mental strength. When you treat small things with discipline, big things lose their power over you. Think about it. If you can't handle morning traffic without anger, how will you handle a real crisis? If you can't maintain discipline when tired, what happens under real pressure? Small moments are rehearsals for big ones. Modern life offers endless opportunities for Buudo. Traffic jams, practice patience. Difficult people, emotional control. Deadlines, focus under pressure. The same principles samurai used apply to today's battles. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop seeing challenges as interruptions. They are your life. They're not obstacles to growth, they're the method of growth. Work becomes your dojo, struggle becomes your teacher. A Japanese saying states, "Fall 7 times, rise 8." Everyone knows this quote, but almost no one understands it. It's not about resilience, it's about math that doesn't add up. How can you rise more times than you fall? Because the 8th time is tomorrow morning when you wake up. You rise before life knocks you down. You start the day already standing, already practicing, already in Buudo. This is living by the way. But there's danger in Buudo. You can practice forever in a comfortable dojo. Real warriors knew they needed more, to test themselves in reality, in the unknown. They called this Musha Shugio, the warrior's pilgrimage.
Part 3. Musha Shugio, the warrior's pilgrimage. Here, comfortable practice meets uncomfortable reality. Here, you learn whether your training is real or just pretense. In feudal Japan, samurai left everything: home, master, safety, and wandered the country seeking challenges. No safety net, no backup plan. Only their skills against whatever lay ahead. They called it training in the world. Miyamoto Musashi embodied this completely. At 15, he left home and never returned. For decades, he wandered Japan, fighting anyone who challenged him. 60 duels, not one defeat. Not because he was gifted, but because Musha Shugio made him something beyond human. But here's what people miss about Musashi. Between duels, he slept in caves, ate what he found, faced hunger, cold, complete uncertainty. The duels weren't the training, surviving the journey was. As he wrote, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain." He meant it literally. In comfort, you see one path forward. In desperation, under pressure, you suddenly see paths everywhere. Musha Shugio forces you to find ways you didn't know existed. Modern life rarely demands this. We live in safety bubbles. Same route to work, same people, same challenges. The comfort zone becomes a prison, and we become its willing inmates. But some still embrace Musha Shugio. Take Yuichiro Miura, a Japanese office worker who felt dead after a decade of routine. At 70, he abandoned everything to conquer Everest. Not with elite training, but with determination to test himself. He nearly died 5 times, lost fingers to frostbite, but reached the summit. When asked why, he answered, "I needed to know if I was still alive." This is Musha Shugio, deliberately choosing challenges that could break you. Only at the edge do you discover what you're made of. You don't need to climb Everest, but you need your own pilgrimage, something that pulls you from safety into growth. Maybe starting a business without guarantees, moving to another country, having that conversation you've avoided for years. The details don't matter, leaving does. The harsh truth, many didn't return from Musha Shugio, not because they died, but because they discovered they were frauds. Their dojo skills meant nothing in real combat. Their mental strength crumbled under genuine pressure. Here, people learn who they really are. The Bushido Code states, "A samurai's word is his bond." But there's deeper meaning. The most important promises are those you make to yourself. When you say you'll do something difficult, then back down, you break your connection with yourself. Every broken promise weakens you. Musha Shugio tests this connection away from familiar support, facing real consequences. You can't pretend. Either you keep your word to yourself, or you learn you've been lying all along. This is why warriors return transformed, not from victories, but from keeping promises to themselves when quitting would have been easier, from realizing they can completely trust themselves. But surviving the pilgrimage is just preparation. Real transformation comes through 3 stages of mastery the Japanese call Shuhari.
Part 4. Shuhari, the 3 stages of mastery. Every Japanese master passed through these stages, not by choice, but by necessity. This is how mastery works. First stage, Shu, to protect or obey. Everyone starts here, but no one wants to stay. In Shu, you copy exactly. No creativity, no personal approach. Only perfect imitation of proven methods. A Buddhist saying goes, "When the student is ready, the teacher appears." But here's what it means. The student becomes ready by completely emptying themselves. No ego, no better ideas, only absorption. Modern people hate this. We want to innovate immediately, add our style, show how special we are. But Japanese masters knew, you cannot break rules without mastering them first. You cannot transcend basics without owning them completely. Second stage, Ha, to break or detach. Now you've earned the right to question. The foundation is solid and you can build your structure. Here, personal style emerges. Matsuo Basho expressed this perfectly. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought. In Shu, you follow footsteps exactly. In Ha, you understand why those footsteps led there and find your own path to the same destination. Final stage, Ri, to leave or transcend. Here, technique disappears. Thinking stops. Being begins. You no longer practice mental strength. You are mental strength. Musashi reached Ri in his final years, living in a cave. He wrote, "In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close, and to take a distanced view of close things." Only in Ri could he write this, speaking not of physical distance, but of a mind that had transcended ordinary perception. In Ri, there's no difference between you and your practice. A master carpenter doesn't think about tools. His hands know. A samurai doesn't decide to be brave. Courage is his nature. You don't choose mental strength. It chooses you. This is why true masters seem supernatural. They're no longer trying. Decades of Shu laid the foundation. Years of Ha refined understanding. In Ri, they act from a place beyond technique. They became what they practiced. Most never reach Ri. They get stuck in Ha, thinking innovation is the endpoint. But Ri isn't about creativity or discipline. It's about complete disappearance until only the way remains. In Ri, mental strength requires no motivation, techniques, or effort to be strong. Strength flows through you in whatever form the moment demands. You become the teaching. This is a lifetime path, not a 30-day challenge, not a morning routine, but complete transformation, requiring years. But it begins with one decision today. Choose your first Shu. What you avoid, what scares you. Commit to facing it daily for 100 days. No negotiation, no excuses, only practice. The activity doesn't matter, the commitment does. As a samurai saying goes, tomorrow's battle is won in today's training. Read that again. Tomorrow's battle, your future challenges, crises, breaking points, are already decided. By what? By whether you train today, whether you choose comfort or growth right now. Monks under waterfalls aren't preparing for waterfalls, they're preparing for life. You're not training for cold showers, you're training for everything that will try to break you. Start today. Not tomorrow, not Monday. Today.
Because the one who starts today has already defeated the one who will start tomorrow. Remember, you don't need motivation, you need to begin. The way will teach everything else. This is Everything is Simple. Your evolution starts now.